10-minute daily reality check. Obi, let's not talk about the Disneyfication of America when it comes down to sexuality. We talked about it yesterday. Let's just talk about sex. I think it's a great topic on Friday, December the 15th, 2017. Have you had enough sex this year?
I don't think I ever have enough sex. Always want more sex.
Okay, so rate your sexual year this year, right? Because if you think about it, okay, I want everybody to listen right now. I want you to take a sexual inventory because that's what December's all about. December's about sexual inventory month. Because if you haven't had enough, you still got a couple of weeks. You got 16 days left till the clock strikes midnight and we get to start our virginity all over again, because I truly believe that there's no such thing as New Year's resolutions, but in 2018, every year when the clock strikes midnight, you get to become a virgin all over again. Do you remember that year that I didn't have sex?
Yeah.
That was 2016. I had sex in February and waited till December of 2016 to have sex again. That was self-induced, born-again virginhood. I enjoyed it.
Did you enjoy it?
Honestly, yeah, I really did.
You enjoyed it in retrospect, or did you enjoy it while you were doing it?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it while doing it, and I enjoyed it in retrospect. It was great. I figure I jerked off once every 10 days to clean the pipes because I've never been a big masturbator, right? Because, the pain would kind of come, my pee stream would get a little less, right? Because it just, you just haven't released, everything kind of gets a little congested. No, I stayed on track because I truly, in 2016, really wanted to not get caught up in my sexual relationships anymore, because sex has always been a drug for me. It's that high that I have. It's the conquest. I'm addicted to it. I think it's fabulous. So I wanted to be away from it, so then when I can start connecting with women again, I would start connecting them on a much deeper level. And that's what I did. I did a lot of dating. Remember, I dated a lot in 16, right? I dated a lot in 17 too, but I enjoyed it. What's your longest hiatus?
Oh, shit. I don't know, months. Probably like, I don't know, my longest hiatus. Probably like 3-4 months or something. 3 months maybe.
Did you enjoy it?
No. Well, it's been interesting. This year I've had like ebbs and flows.
I know you have.
It's been up and then down and then up and then down and then up. It's been like, but when I've had my sexual relationships, they've been great sex, like really intense. Really like a lot of connection. I've had great sex this year, but then they've also had these valleys where like 2 months would go by, I don't have sex at all. And so it's been really interesting. It's been like literally like up and down all year.
Literally.
Yeah, it really has.
Think about it, if we can talk about our penis and send a dick pic, it would be up and it would be down. We can't do that because we'd get arrested. Yeah. And we would also have some type of sexual misconduct, and then I'd get fired from my podcast by myself. Interesting when you do the ebbs and the flows, right? This is something that I've really been practicing lately, and we were just talking about this. In all my relationships that I've had this year, I've waited at least 30 days to have sex, and as long as 2+ months to have sex. And I feel during that time, for the first time ever, I am clearly seeing the person who's being presented himself. And I think to myself, I imagine if I did that throughout my life, I probably wouldn't have had 75% of those relationships, because I would get really turned on by somebody immediately. Being the male that I am, I would want to have the conquest. I would be turned on physically to them. And I think whenever I was turned on physically, I would ignore what they were saying to me, because once your penis gets involved, your penis really has no brain, it's all sensation. I mean, think about it. Its best friends are 2 balls and it lives next door to an asshole, right? So there's no rational mind going on down there. And that's why I feel that as I progress through life and looking for a partnership and desiring a partnership and really having that friendship with a woman and really having that relationship that I've never had before, that, that soul connection, I had to eliminate the sexual connection from the beginning. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be going out with somebody if I didn't find them hot. But I wanted to take it to a whole different level, and I found that sex clouded me. That was me. It clouded my judgment. So this year, I've had a decent amount of sex this year, but I've had a few partners this year.
Yeah.
And I've also had many relationships with these partners. And along with the many relationships came revelations of things that I wanted and desired. So by keeping a clear head, I was able to really understand what I was looking for better, because I always found that sex got me addicted, man. It was like a drug. It would become this incredible drug. And I found that the more addicted I got to somebody, the more mistakes I made. Like I went back in time and I time traveled back through all my relationships. And I realized, and this is something that I always tell people to do, take a look at what you've learned from all your past relationships. Take a look at what you've done. Take a look at the people you're with, and take a look at what presented in the first 30 days. Usually you sleep with somebody very quickly. That's always been my history. Sleep with them in the first 10 days and cloud my judgment. And I would ignore so many things. So I took a look at some of my key relationships in my life, and I realized that they probably never would have happened if I didn't sleep with them, because I really would have evaluated them and seen them better. And I started practicing more abundance instead of like wanting to conquer somebody or wanting to be with them because I thought they were stupid hot or stupid amazing. You know, not stupid, okay? I don't want to make sure nobody hangs me on the Salem witch hunt tomorrow, but off the charts hot. I started looking at the inside far deeper than the outside. You know, I mean, instead of like being caught up by their looks, I really wanted to see who they were. And I found by not having sex, it helped me through that.
That's interesting. I don't know if I'm in the same place in life. I mean, you're like, you know, older than I am.
Yeah, thanks.
Like, I don't know, for me, I feel like sex brings me into a deeper sense of connection with them. Like, I'm attracted to them, and maybe we talk or we have some kind of deep connection or conversation or something, and then I'm like, ooh, now I want to like
do the F word that we can't say.
Now I want to F word her, because I want to go deeper. For me, I see it as going deeper, right? I mean,
could it be youth versus old age?
It's possible, because I mean, the last time I can remember waiting a long time. I wouldn't even call it a long time, but like waiting to have sex with someone that I was super attracted to or that I had a super connection with was like my first time. You know, like my first girlfriend. You know, like we would just make out and we didn't have sex for maybe a month. I don't know how long it was. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But I remember like it wasn't immediate. It wasn't like, you know, second date or anything. And even now, I think about it. I still think about sex as going deeper as connection. So hearing you say that is interesting to me. It does sound interesting. I just don't know how I would approach it. I'm not sure if I could. I think that if I waited 30 days, I would be really like, you know, I would be like reared up. My testosterone would be going. I would be probably even frustrated, to be honest.
So, what does that mean? I mean, look, I can travel back in time and I can go back to your age, right? And it's interesting what I said. I mean, think about what I said, right? If I traveled back in time and I didn't have sex with those women a lot of those women I got in relationships with, I wouldn't have gotten in relationships with them because I actually would have seen them for who they were.
Yeah.
Because the same reasons why I broke up with people 2-3 years later were the same fucked up shit I saw in the first 30 days. But I ignored it because I was so addicted to their body. I was so addicted to how hot they were. And I was so addicted to the sex. And
but I'm not sure if that's just sex, though, because there's one ex-girlfriend in my mind, that I knew I should have broken up with her at a certain time. And it wasn't necessarily the sex that I feel like was the thing that kept me. You know, like I don't think the sex, or at least the sex didn't cloud me enough to not see that. Like I saw it, I just didn't do it. You know? You know, maybe you say it was the sex, but I think comfort, not wanting to, you know, giving her a shot. I don't know what it was. I couldn't tell you, you know. But, like, I remember seeing a thing. I remember seeing it and be like, no, I should probably end right now. I just maybe didn't have the balls. I don't know. Just didn't do it. And I regret it. But I'm not. I don't think the sex clouded that for me. Do you feel that that's what happens with you all the time?
I'm really clear now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's no knock on the people I was with, because every relationship I had for the reasons that I learned things, right? And you never can restart your life and go back in time. But fuck yeah, it really clouded me. It really made me overlook personality flaws.
Yeah.
One of them was a complete narcissist. I overlooked that because I thought she was really hot, and I was taken back by the oxytocin that was being released, and and thinking, creating a story about her. Yeah, absolutely. I got clouded by it. I'm very clear now. Like I've been really crystal clear. The longer I wait to sleep with somebody, the more I can see who they are and watch who they show up for. So,
but don't you see more of who they are after you?
No.
When you F-word them.
No, because when I F-word them, no, because then
no,
I'm
because
not
then
clear.
they start feeling things, and then you start seeing things that you wouldn't see if you guys didn't have sex.
Yeah, but I'd rather see their personality and who they are on a day-to-day basis for a period of time before we have sex, because that's just the icing on the cake. And I'm not saying let's just go back and dry hump each other, right?
Uh-huh.
You could play just the tip and other things, but I'm not saying you don't do anything. I'm saying you build up to it. You actually build up to it, because if you think about the evolution of a relationship, as you get older, as you mature, you're tired. You've been through all this stuff. You've been through the crazy psycho bitch. The girl that, was marked down 3 times at Walmart, and you bought her at a Black Friday sale, and she looked really great in the box, and then you took her home and she was fucking out of her mind, And let me tell you, there are men the same way. This is not a sexist thing at all. Men are marked down on Black Friday as well, and they start getting knocked. You go to a department store December 24th and something's 80% off because nobody else wants it. So relationships are all a process. Each relationship teaches us another lesson. Each sexual relationship teaches us something about our sexuality. I feel like in my sexuality, I've learned the lessons I've needed to learn. I know what I like. I know what I'm about. I know how kinky I can go. I know where my limits are, right? I know how I want to show up as a sexual being. I've also been a pleaser. So I would get caught up in bringing them pleasure. To me, I learned at a very young age from my mother's naughty friends who got stoned on a Friday night and Saturday night with my mom, and they would sit in the kitchen and they'd say, David, for you to be a great lover, you need to let a woman come first. So I was brainwashed as a kid, and it was a great lesson. So I was caught with that. So now I look at myself as this great gift, because I've evolved and I've been through a lot. Personally what I've been through, and I like who I am. I actually love who I am now. So I want that relationship that's an equal relationship. I don't want to give up my sexual fucking prowess. I don't want to give up my sexual superhero powers. And that's what I would do. I would give up those sexual superhero powers, and I would get them really turned on, and my ego would get really satisfied. Like, whoa, like we'd sit around and talk, like, oh my God, she came like 14 times. And I remember I was dating somebody a couple of years back. She had literally orgasms for 2 straight hours. We would just have sex, and she would just come nonstop. And it clouded my judgment. I dated somebody else who was the same way, and it clouded my judgment because my ego felt really great because I was a great lover. When you hear that, oh, you're such a great lover. Oh my God, you have a magical dick, Oh, what are you doing with your tongue? It's so great. My ego would get filled, right? My mind would get filled, and I would overlook the fact that I got her at Black Friday markdown, and she was a broken, she was a returned broken box, woman, I mean? So I feel like I've now looking at things so much clearer because I don't want somebody marked down. I don't want my girl 80% off. I want somebody who's full price.
No, I think it's a great analogy. I don't know. I think this is food for thought. It's something that I'm going to consider. I'm not sure if I'm going to go along that same path, though.
You're younger, man. Go.
I'm gonna
do some serious hip grinding this weekend. You got your sisters coming in, so it ain't gonna happen. But you're gonna be.
I'm going to a friend's Christmas party on Saturday though. He's married though, so I'm not sure if there's gonna be any girls there. But
do you know who's having a Christmas party? Sienna Sinclair.
She hit you up?
Did you see that? I saw an
No.
email today, right?
Oh, really?
The naughty Christmas party, you know.
That's so funny.
Yeah, the naughty.
I haven't talked to her in like 2 years.
I know. Do you remember that time when we did some work for her?
Yeah, and then she called me like a year later, and she wanted to do some stuff.
She was cool. I
Yeah.
liked her attitude on things. She was very... She had a very masculine attitude about sex. She was interesting.
I just remember the story she told me about the guy that she was dating who put the lifters in his shoes.
Yes, I remember that, and there was some other ones. She was cool. She was great. Anyway, what's your viewpoint on sex? So today's reality is, do you wait? Do you hump? And if you do hump right away, can you still keep a clear mind when it comes down to sex? I'll see you tomorrow, Saturday, December 16th, coming up. What are we going to talk about tomorrow? You'll find out tomorrow. Anyway, spread the podcast. Text it to people, but be careful if you if you text a podcast about sex, you might get arrested or lose your job for sexual harassment. Don't say I didn't warn you.